Hello everybody, thank you for watching Mic'd Up Podcast. This is Jeff, and today we're talking about the movie review for The Monkey Man. The synopsis for this film is: an anonymous young man unleashes a campaign of vengeance against the corrupt leaders who murdered his mother and continue to systematically victimize the poor and the powerless. So Dev Patel, this is his first directorial film that he has done, and this movie has a little bit of history. This movie was going to be going on streaming, but fortunately he met up with Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele watched the film, fell in love with it, and told him that he can do whatever he can to get into movie theaters. He actually reached out to Universal Pictures, and they saw the film too, fell in love with it, and they felt like, this movie should be in movie theaters, and that's what they did, and they actually put the marketing and everything behind it, and now the movie is theatrical, which is actually beautiful, because when you have movies that should be in the movie theaters, you should put them in the movie theaters. Just saying that. So I'm gonna break down this movie into 3 segments, as you have seen our reviews before, but this is how we usually break it down. You break it down the good, the bad, and the verdict. So let's get into it. Let's start off with the good. The good is Dev Patel. Patel is absolutely fantastic in this movie. Him playing this rageful guy that's looking for revenge for his mother, he plays it to a T. I mean, there's scenes in this movie where he's not saying anything, and you just feel how he's feeling through his facial expressions. You can see like all the weight and stress is on this guy, and how much he just wants to get it off and just bring back happiness to his life by avenging his mother. And you actually see it in a lot of this film, and that's just fantastic acting by him, and also with the action as well. The action for him in this movie was great too. You actually see like the physicalness that he can do when it comes to fighting the bad guys, and you just get this in awesome times when you're watching the film. There's certain things about the fighting, about the action sequences I had issues. We'll talk about that more in the bad, but overall, I mean, he was absolutely fantastic in the movie. And if this is just the first one of him directing films and him showing his range in certain things, then I'm excited to see more things from him. Like I said, the action was great. It doesn't have. First of all, let's just get it out of the way. This is not John Wick. This is not a John Wick movie. Even though the trailers made you think it's like John Wick, it's not John Wick. There's a lot of storytelling going on. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of that going on in this film. Unlike John Wick, which is just all action throughout the film, it's not like that. It's telling a story, and it's letting you know what's going on and how this person feels, how he needs to get this off his back, and that's basically the story of the film. The action is in there, and there's a lot of action. However, it's not as what you would think it would be as a John Wick film. So that's one thing I would like people to understand before they walk in and watch this film. It's not John Wick. And one thing, it's kind of like good and bad. I don't know, because it kind of takes away, but we can go more into the bad. But I liked how they portray what's going on in India when it comes to the economics of people in India. And that's either if you're rich or you're poor. They were not shy of showing how life is when you have money, how life is when you don't have money. And I thought that was something beautiful that they showed to bring into attention to everybody that it's not all cupcakes and stars and rainbows over in India. There's some serious things that go on over there. It's pretty sad, and I like that he put that focus in the film, and just to educate people what's going on. And he brought that in the film, and I felt like that was something that was, like I said, it's good and bad, and I'm going to explain why I had some issues with it in the bad. Now let's talk about the bad. One thing I feel like this movie, and this is something that I thought we got rid of in action movies, but apparently we didn't. Apparently there's still some cinematographers out there that still like this, and that's shaky cam. Some of the fight scenes are very shaky cam, very up close, so you really don't see what's going on. I kind of felt like that was a distraction from the fight scene, because it was kind of weird. It was like some scenes of fight scenes were based like a wide shot or a cowboy shot. So you saw what was going on. You saw like the hand-to-hand combat, and you see what Dave Chappelle was doing, against, like, people he was fighting against. And then within the same fight sequence, they'll show a little shaky cam here, so you can't see what's going on. So you might see like a punch going like that, and then it goes, shaky cam, and then you don't see like the follow through of the punch and all that stuff. So there's kind of things like that that got on my nerves. I'm like, man, can we just get away from shaky cam? I thought by now, all these movies that have action and comic books and all movies that we have out there, we would have got rid of this because people want to see action. But that's just one thing that, one of the things I just dislike about the film. Another thing I liked about the film, the flow of it was very choppy, and it goes back to what I was saying about the whole Indian culture thing and showing, like, the good and the bad, or the rich and poor. One thing I did, it was just a little bit annoying, but it didn't get me to the point where I hated the film, was like introducing a sub story. And sometimes with first directors, they don't know how to really merge them together to make them blend beautifully. And I felt like this was one of those times where it didn't work 100%. It's still interesting and good. It just made it to a point where it's kind of like, I wish we would focus on that. I understand why, but I don't really need it. Just the way that it was presented in the film, the message that they were proposing or showing, I felt was need to be told. I think it's important to show people struggling and how they're being taken advantage of by rich people, and that's what the sub story is basically is. However, it was just done in a way where you're focusing on Dave Patel's character as rageful, a person who's trying to get revenge for his mother, and then they were going to like the sub story when it comes to more like political and what's going on in India, how these characters are affecting the politics in India. I felt like that was something that they didn't have to do as much. I understand why once you go like once you figure out what happened and why all these things are happening in India, you understand, but it just came to a point where I felt like it wasn't always necessary to leave something that is like very honed in, you're interested, the main plot of the story, the reason why you were there, and to basically like go on to another story where they have to use some kind of way to come back to connect everything to a web, and it felt messy a little bit, but like I said, a little choppy, but not too bad. And for the verdict, I think it's good. Dave Chappelle was absolutely phenomenal in this movie when he showed the emotions of his character, showing the ragefulness that he was going to get through to get revenge for his mother. I thought the action was absolutely superb, except for the shaky cam, but other than that, the action was great. It's not John Wick, so don't think it's John Wick. The subplots I felt like was kind of interesting, but it still does not deteriorate how good this film is. And I recommend that you go watch this film. Definitely have some fun with this film, and actually enjoy yourself. So that's basically how I feel about this film. Did you see the movie? What do you think about the movie? Did anything you like or anything you dislike is different from me? Let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And thank you for watching Mic'd Up. This is Jeff. I'll see you next video. Take care.